Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 126 of the Party Invite show. Here on this podcast, I, your host, Tegan, am joined by Vilos and Obsydianyte.
Hello.
Yeah.
And whatever Pokemon evolution names we do or do not come up with them before, for the show, they're not canon unless they agree to them. So you won't hear the official ones until everything's been confirmed. There's a lot of paperwork behind the scenes. But anyway, we are a community of players who discuss games and the experiences of those who play them. So today, we're talking about what we've been playing. It's all about the games that we've been playing in the past couple of weeks, with a focus on the newer ones, the ones that have had our primary attention. But before we get into that, let's talk about those experiences of gamers. Let's talk about Blissin' Up, a segment where we like to, put that positive energy out in the world. There are plenty of places that thrive on clickbait and, practically trauma and negative engagement, right? They really want to get your attention with things that might make you upset. So we want to counteract that by giving you stuff to make you smile. So if you'd ever like to contribute, have your submissions read on the show, you can find us on our Discord, which I'll link at the end of the show. But we've got a bunch of stuff that we've been talking about. Is anybody, you know what, Vilos, why don't you go first? I think you got the best one so far.
Yeah. I'm actually extremely happy with my Blissin' Up today because I have never bought anything off of the Pokemon Center store. And I finally got to.
So you were a Pokemon
Yay!
Center, and now you're part of the Pokemon Center.
Oh, no,
Oh my gosh.
I spent a stupid amount of money on Pokemon stuff, period. But the Pokemon Center had some items that were just cannot miss for me, and they always are. Like, if you're not familiar with the Pokemon Center, that store online they put something up, it's gone in 24 hours,
Yeah.
like very regularly.
Yeah.
And their apparel is outstanding. It's always high quality, and it's almost completely exclusive. So there's a few stores like around the country that are officially part of it, but it's like 3 stores. So I took a shot. I spent a stupid amount of money. I did it. So this Ninetales sock cap beanie, whatever you want to call it. This I'm gonna have to focus everything a little weird, but
It's so pretty, like the
my Mew
sunset
hoodie,
Mew.
which is my favorite colors together. The actual hoodie itself, just many colored variations of Mew here. And then the back.
Oh, that is
of
so
course.
cool.
That's awesome.
And then, okay, gotta get my other stuff. And then because
But wait, there's more.
I don't buy clothes. All right, like
You steal them.
is yeah. It's years. It takes years for me to buy clothes because my body type almost never changes, and those kind of things. But to match the cap, literally to match the cap, these gloves, which are the most precious thing,
Is that
and
Capricorn?
they're incredibly
Is that...
comfy.
It looks like they're touchscreen compatible too.
Yes, they are. I
Because they've
can
got
use
the
them
different
with
colored
my
like
phone and
fingertips.
stuff.
Yeah.
I like
But
that.
yeah, they are absolutely gorgeous. They match the hat. I am so excited. They're so comfy. Everything fits so extremely well. I am out of focus. I know that.
Yeah, quite down,
because this right here is kind of the piece de resistance. Although I think I like the Mew hoodie the most. But this is so fucking cute.
Oh my god.
Is officially like
Wow.
fall sweater, winter sweater, and it's Arcanine. He's gonna keep me warm. Look at this this fucking fluffy tail. It's so good. And I don't wear sweaters often, but it's cold as hell in my apartment. And these sleeves are amazing. I mean, just look at the Fire brand, but
I need it.
it's so good. And of course, they've got the Pokemon Center logos and stuff like that all over the place. My only concern is washing them because you never know how that's going to go with really high quality,
Yeah, well, if it happens to
stuff
shrink
like
and you
this.
don't fit it anymore, my
Yeah,
reverse birthday is coming up. My reverse birthday is coming. So
Yeah, no, we're going to talk about your reverse birthday. I know. We're
Oh,
gonna talk
okay.
about
Yeah.
it. All
I
right.
do want to say Pokemon Center. I double vouch for that because look, this is where I got my lovely Miss Mages plushie. And
Mhm.
literally, I saw that drop. This is the only thing that I bought from the web. No, actually, I have a Wooloo. It's like a Wooloo backpack that's like actually fluffy, and I
That's a
bought
great bag.
and
Yeah.
it's so nice. And I bought like a matching Bulbasaur clutch to go with it. But
Hey, Vilos, could I
this
get you to
little
put your thing on screen just one more time? I know you put it away, but I just set it up, so I actually got you bigger on screen for a second.
What part?
Whatever you want, but
chill sweater. Yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
that's what I'm
it's so
talking about.
good.
Arcanine boy.
Yeah,
He's
that's
so
dope.
cool.
As soon as the plushie dropped, though, the Miss Mages plushie, because I've been waiting for Miss Mages like
That's cool.
stuff for forever. They never have it. I bought it immediately, and I'm so glad I did because like literally 30 seconds later, it was all sold out, and I was just like,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
That's good.
And of course I had size questions. I was like, oh god, I hope everything fits. And the sweater, everything fit exactly as I thought it would.
Mhm.
Like the hoodie is made apparently for nothing else to be under it, so that's fine. I don't usually do that with hoodies, but it's very comfortable. And obviously, like the colors are just so gorgeous.
Yeah, they really are.
The sweater is literally perfect Christmas sweater. I I could put my legs under it entirely. I could just sit there in a ball. It's great. I love it.
Nice.
$150+, but
Hey,
what is that to my happiness?
Honestly, that's kind of cheap for Pokemon Center. Not cheap, but like that's a low amount of money to spend on Pokemon Center stuff. Like when you go shopping there the first time, because like it's almost like Target, where you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I want to go in and see if they have this one thing, and then like 50 items later,
Yeah, yeah. It's like I think both the sweater and the hoodie were each $50, and then the gloves like 15, and the hat itself was 25, something like that.
hmm
nice.
But yeah, absolutely beautiful. The only thing I need now is some the leg stuff.
You
They
know,
had some pajama looking things, but they didn't have, for some reason, didn't have the Mew or Arcanine or Ninetales in pants yet. I don't know why, but
quick spell
hopefully
Ninetales.
they do. Ninetales.
Okay, all right.
I'm not an idiot.
Well, see, I
Just making sure.
I showed this off last time. Oh my gosh, actually, my green screen's gonna. I can't even do this. I'm not even gonna be able to.
I saw it for a whole second.
Maybe if I hold it in front of me. Hey, look at me. Hold on. I can even do this. Hey, look at me. It's my neat hat from Don't Starve Together. It's cool. Exciting. It's like the only piece of game paraphernalia, apparel. That's it.
I love that it doesn't look like it's from a game specifically, though.
If you wouldn't have told me that was from
winter.
Don't Starve, I would never have known.
Hey, that's all right. I get to, it's like I get to break out my nerd cred when I want to.
That's true.
Yeah, that way people don't ask you, ridiculous questions like that are asinine, such as spell Ninetales.
Yes, absolutely.
N-I.
Oh,
Tails. Nailed it.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm sick.
Well, nice. I mean, I'm happy for you. Yeah, I saw you post your pictures earlier today. I think it was, and
Which are adorable.
yeah, pretty jelly. Though I did not know that those were your favorite colors, and I'm on board. Is purple just the best color? Everybody?
Yes.
Does everybody agree?
Like, this is just the best combination I've ever seen. Is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I
I
really
hope
like
they
that.
stay. Like, I wonder, like, how strong the colors will stay, like, after a wash or two,
Yeah, I'm not worried, but I am a little concerned about that. Yeah.
Just
I'm
wash
not
them in
worried, just
cold
concerned.
water. Yeah. Wash them in cold water and air dry them.
Something like
Like,
that.
Something
put
like
them on
that.
a clothesline in a really obvious, conspicuous place where no one who is named me will take it.
Yeah, it's
Pay
spider.
someone to do it that's not Sid. That's what I heard.
Oh man. So now to summarize this, if someone ever met you on the streets and you had a side quest, your side quest would be that someone, probably Sid, stole your Arcanine hoodie, and they
Yep.
need to get it back so they can unlock something. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Hell yeah, side quest unlocked.
Hey.
Well, Sid, what about you? Blissing us up.
I'm currently eating my Bliss Nut because my Bliss Nut is candy. I have so much candy right now. Hold on, I'm gonna do this for theatrical effect.
Wow. The mic didn't pick it up.
Didn't pick
of
up
course.
any, but we saw.
Oh no,
it.
I didn't want the mic to pick it up. It was just because I pushed the talk, but no, it was just for visual. See, that's what you get when you watch us on Twitch.
That's
right?
right.
So catch us, catch us on Twitch live, and you get to see visual gags that you would never like
a-
not otherwise to see.
Well, actually, reminder that because Spotify has video, you actually get the video on every platform. It's just whether or not you choose to look at the screen.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Well, then there, a visual treat for everybody,
Boom.
and an actual treat for me because I get to eat it. So like over Halloween, I got to. This is like something I've done for like the first time because it usually it would be like a tradition that my mom does, and I'm never around to do it anyway because I'm like either trick or treating or like out with friends or at a party or something like that. But I got to pass out candy for like the first time ever to little children, and their costumes were so cute and adorable. And like the best one of the night was this giant inflatable Among Us bean. And he was like waddling up the stairs, just like trying to get to the, to the door. It was so fun. But it was so cold,
Oh.
So we got to keep a lot of the candy because there were only a few families who came by, and I get to enjoy the benefits. Now, their benefits now. We'll see about
Yeah.
later.
You know what? I talked to, we live in an apartment. No one's coming around to get candy, which is kind of nice. But I mean, even when we lived in a neighborhood like a year ago, when we lived in like a sleepy neighborhood where you'd raise a family, we had like 3 trick-or-treaters the whole night, I think. And the sentiment I heard from people I work with is that in Seattle, people just don't really trick-or-treat anymore.
Boo!
If they go out, and they will go out, they'll go to some like special thing, like a trunk or treat, at a church, or businesses doing a whole thing where you walk down the whole strip and every area is decorated and you do all this stuff.
I don't know if I would get my candy from a church because they feed people wine and crackers, like just on the regular. So like, what are they going to put in my candy?
Wine.
And they call it like somebody's blood and flesh. I'm just like, is this going to actually
That's
be?
where the razor blades come from.
I wouldn't go that far.
There's a hard drive headline that
There's
says
just like a brochure in there.
Said something to the effect of, I'm taking my kids trick-or-treating this year, and please put weed in their candy bags, like for my sake.
What was it that you said the other week? Please check your candy because there's illithid tadpoles in there.
Yeah.
Like
Gotta watch out.
There's the entirety of doom, like in my Snickers bar.
Spooky.
But yep, that's my Bliss Nut. It's short and sweet, literally, because it's mini candies. So,
and
I will be eating a lot of them during this show. So I hope I don't get sick by the time we play the game.
Well then, hey, my Bliss Up is related. I've got 2 of them. So Baldur's Gate 3. Hey guys, we formally complete Act 1. Can you believe it?
Oh, okay. Act 1.
It took us 60 hours, and we did it.
It's been 84 years.
It's awesome though. We started Act 2, which comes with a whole bunch of stuff. In Act 2, some areas of character development are unlocked where it can finally realize it needs to progress. We went to a new area, met new people, and all this stuff, and it was just a really fun opening to the session that we had. I didn't want it to be over. It was probably the most fun session we've had, like the most minute-to-minute fun session we've had since we started, I think. But it was really fun, and we got to this point where a big story beat happens and a big battle appears out of nowhere. We played through the way that we intended to, and we're like, hooray, okay, we got to finish up. We are done with our session, but let's hit that save button, and we'll see what happens. And so we played around to see what happened if we made a different decision. And oh my God, it's so different. Like the like halfway hidden other choice that you can make. I mean, it seems like there are several choices you can make. 2 of them are in dialogue, but some of the other options you just pursue by just taking an action, by doing specific things. I'm not going to spoil anything here, but we were like, well, what if this person dies in this scenario? And oh my God, we saw a wild, entirely different encounter that we would have only seen in an evil playthrough. That we played all the way through. We played like 30 minutes of it, but it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. Good news is our characters are like unbelievably powerful right now. I mean, we're practically demigods. Like I was even joking. I was like, just give us the final boss of the game right now. Like nothing can stop us. But
well, now I want something to humble you.
Me too. We almost got humbled when the person we were trying to protect almost got killed because they, despite how powerful they looked, are not demigods. But it was really fun. Game is just popping off. So I'm not going to say anything else about that for my now playing, but something I saw in their latest patch is they added colorblind mode among a huge, supermassive list of patch notes that, all seem good. Quality of life stuff. But yeah, colorblind mode, the traditional big three that you see in most games was added in there. And I'm always excited to see the addition of accessibility options, even if I wish that they had been there on day one, But yeah, really like that. Otherwise, the weather here has been really great. I say great. It was pretty cold earlier this week. But I got these pictures. Maybe I'll share them on the Discord of some incredible clouds I saw. Maybe before the end of the podcast, I'll actually bring up one that was nuts. And before anybody gets on me for taking photos while I'm driving, which is obviously what I was doing, when I drive for work, I have my phone mounted on my dashboard. So, and you can usually see the reflection of my windshield when I take those pictures. But I just wanted to point that out because you shouldn't text and drive, and and you shouldn't eat all your Halloween candy and smoke weed while you drive either. I've seen people doing that all week.
But do drive and listen to our podcast.
That's right. Thank you.
You know what? There you go. Good shout out.
So there we go. If you would like us to read
driving.
Oh, what's that?
While we were passing out candy, guess who happened to appear in the neighborhood? The ice cream truck. Yeah,
On Halloween.
Tegan, that reaction is exactly how I felt. I was like, first of all, it's 40 degrees. What are you doing out here?
I have heard enough spooky podcast stories to know you do not get ice cream from the ice cream guy on Halloween night. That's absolutely, that's like a Ouija board.
Well, it was
status.
before even trick-or-treaters were coming out. And so it was just like, I saw kids like around the neighborhood, like getting ready to like make their rounds and everything. And then we were listening to music while we were getting ready to pass out the candy. And at first we heard the tunes and we thought the ice cream truck was part of the song we were listening to because it was kind of like chill synthwave, like EDM sort of affair. But like, I look outside and there's a whole ice cream truck just going down the path.
Like, now is my time.
That is
I'm
so.
like, what are you doing? It is so cold. Who's gonna buy ice cream right now? And also free candy. Who's gonna spend money? Free candy. Like,
kids aren't gonna be carrying cash on Halloween anyway. How stupid would that be?
Who even carries cash ever? Do you guys ever carry cash?
No.
I guess I don't need to spill all my guts here. But yeah, I only carry cash here for the places that only accept cash. Other than that, I haven't carried cash in like 2 years. Who's accepting? Maybe the kids are all walking around. Maybe the like Gen. Mm-hmm. Wait, what's younger than Gen Z? Are we still in Gen Z right now?
No, Gen Z is youngest. Yeah.
Gen Z's been whatever's coming next will be around soon. But
I mean, millennials are like for 30 years, right? So we're technically like elder millennials.
Yeah. But I'm wondering, like, what if lots of young people now they're going the opposite way of their parents, where they're like, well, our parents are glued to their phones. Maybe I don't want to be on the internet. Maybe they're gonna be like, wow, our parents don't like cash, so we're only gonna walk around with cash in our pocket. They're bringing
walk up to the ice cream shop and be like, you got that Cash App?
I mean, maybe they were willing to trade for some candy. I don't know.
Oh my God, that's the long con here.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, yeah, I'll give you this Sonic, the stupid gumball eyes Sonic.
Why would I take Sonic when Bubbles is right there?
That's true.
Melted Spider-Man too, who was in the Spider-Verse movie.
SpongeBob fan. The SpongeBob one's my favorite.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah. That's all great. Chat, anybody else out there, if you'd like us to read your answers for Bliss and Up on the show, like I said, reach out to us on Discord, or we've got our email at contact@partyinvite.games. But let's move on to some actual games we're playing. Let's talk about now playing. Vilos, I would love to start with you. You played the game whose music we were bumping on Spotify. The whole soundtrack is on there. Very relaxing music in the best way. What game were you playing, buddy?
Yeah, I was playing Jusant, or just say Jusant. It's by Don't Nod, who is very well known, mostly for the Life is Strange series, and of course one of my faves. Tell Me Why.
Tell me
Don't
why.
Nod does narrative stuff normally, and Jusant is something completely different, just completely left field for them, and I am extremely happy with it. I wanted to finish it last night because it is around 4.5 to 5 hours. As you can see, you can build cairns. So Tegan, I know that's something that you'll love.
I did
Um,
actually when I previewed this video. I got like exactly this far into it, and I was like, "That's all
yeah,
I need to see."
yeah.
I'm in.
So there is narrative in this game, but the gist of it is a climbing game, and like there's nothing else really. There's nothing else. It's an exploratory climbing game. It's got the absolute best climbing mechanics I've ever seen in a game, hands down.
Well, you'd
Uh,
probably hands up if you're
y-
climbing.
God damn it, I knew that was
Ah!
gonna happen. But as you can see, it's an absolutely gorgeous game. It has a very particular art style. It reminded me visually a lot of something like The Gunk, which came out a year and a half ago, 2 years. Um, just really spectacular looking. The vistas are just constantly great views. As you can see, I'm going up this tower and I don't know what this is going to lead to at the time. But every so often you get to the edge of something and you're like, I just got to look. And
Yeah,
if you
for
do
sure.
look out to the edge there, um, there's just jutting rocks and clouds, and you're wondering this entire time what the hell's going on. And every once in a while, you're finding letters that people are giving to each other because this is a fully realized world. It's really cool. Uh, as you can see in the video, just picked up a letter, and I your character doesn't have a name yet because part of this is there's a mystery of who you are and the creature that you're carrying with you. Um,
Oh, is that a creature on your back?
yeah, there's a little
Yeah,
blue
it looks like
thing
a
inside
little
the
like a
bag.
baby or something.
Yeah. It's a little baby, ballast is what this creature is called, a ballast, and,
Oh
so
gosh, I thought you were gonna fall. Uh,
yeah, this was directly after I struggled because the one issue that I have with the game, I'm gonna just say it right now, the one issue I have with the game
was the
is that there
climbing?
are
The climbing
some
just was terrible. No, I'm
there
sorry.
are some moments where the camera decides to just do whatever the fuck it wants, and not
For
in
story.
a yeah, in a very particular way. Because here I'm supposed to go up to that spot. This was the first time that I had learned I could throw my rope up like that, and in this case, I fuck up before this. I mess it up completely, and I cannot stop swinging. I can't get to where I need to go, and I can't stop swinging. And then the camera has me face the wrong direction, but I'm still supposed to input the controls as if the camera was correct.
Oh,
If that
Ah.
makes sense. And
well,
so I
no,
could
it
not swing
doesn't make
back.
sense, and that's the frustrating part.
Yeah. I had to reload my checkpoint, which was like 5 minutes before this, and I was pissed off about that. But otherwise, that was the only bad experience in this game. The rest of it is because there's just a really cool narrative that you're unfolding this whole time due to these letters that you're finding, and the entire world tells the story. I'm always a big fan of that. Um, but just like any open world or even like an Abzu, uh, it just you find all these context clues for the world that you're in just by being there. It's not as you don't get to do as many things as I'd like to do in this game. It really is exclusively climb, walk, pick up letters, build cairns. Okay,
What more
like
is there?
and when you do the cairns, you're actually just putting the one rock at the top. But suffice to say, there's not a lot to do in it. It's just climbing, and the story that's there is very intriguing. The world building that's there is really cool because Jusant actually is, I think it's the word for tides, and you only learn the context by the letters that you find. Because this whole world is built this way because it used to be a watery world, as ours is. This is, is kind of apocalyptic, and so the tides change over time, obviously, and so the civilization that used to live here ended up having to go up and down these rocks until the point that now it's a desert. And the
Wow.
few people that are left in this world are trying to find water.
The
trying to
irony.
find the last little bit of whatever to keep them alive. And
A
that's what
quick
your little
Google
ballast buddy is.
directly translates it to ebb and flow,
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
which even is evocative of the way you're swinging on your rope.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could play this. I'm just getting vertigo watching. Like when you fell that one
Yeah.
time, I was just like, no.
That's one cool thing about it. It's there's almost no settings in this game that actually drag me down a little bit.
Whoa, is this a Halo game?
Right? So there's very little else to the game. Um, and so the one interesting thing is they do actually limit you. You're not able to just run and jump off a cliff. Um,
You shouldn't do that
which
anyway.
which yeah, which is good and bad. You know, I'm one of those people that I know where my limits are in a game, so I don't really test boundaries, but I would jump off of a cliff in this world because it's really cool. Um,
Well, no wonder there
in
are no
this
people
case, I
left.
would like people to do it. Yeah.
Wow, look how cool it looks.
Hey, listen, there might be a letter in this game that talks about that. Just saying. But as you can see, there's the little ballast. He's
It's
cute.
not
His
pronounced
little
just
bubble
saying,
of
it's
Oh
water
just
thing.
my
song.
Yeah.
gosh.
Look how cute he is.
Wow. He's a little
He's just a
blooper.
little guy.
You called him
Aw.
a ballast?
Yeah, ballast. And
More like a palace because he's a friend.
well, you actually do get an achievement for hugging him. So I'm
Oh,
on my
yeah.
way. I'm very close to it. But as you can see, he's kind of made of water or something, maybe. And so his little mythical civilization is kind of a fairy tale that you were trying to uphold and figure out if that's the truth and if that's something that'll bring your civilization back. That said, so far it looks like I might be the only person left alive. So I don't know. It's going to be really depressing, I think, when I get to the end, which is less than an hour away. Uh,
Uh-oh.
Uh,
I'm gonna hopefully play it tonight to finish
so a
it.
lot of this gives me vibes of the game that I can't remember the name of. It was on Game Pass. It's like 4 letters, but it was a really, really, really small studio. The whole point is like you've got some light creature pet that goes around with you, and you light up these little things, and then it opens a portal, and you go to the next level, and there are 3 levels. I think I beat it in like 3 hours. But we famously, if this rings a bell, there was like a funny glitch where I was like messing around under a tree, and then my character rocketed 1,000 feet into the air. So that's just an old clip we have. But everything you're describing from that reminds me of this, or vice versa, where you've got this companion, you've got this beautiful world with like a fairly minimal art style. Of course, that one is way more minimal than this.
Mhm.
This has
I
real
think I remember the
production
game you're
value.
talking about. I just can't. I remember, like I'm picturing the clip in my head. I just cannot remember the name of the game.
Yeah,
I don't remember what it is.
I'll
Yeah.
see if I can pull it up, but it's very similar, and even your predictions for the end of the game are like exactly how I felt, and then in that game I was correct about the end of the game. I won't exactly spoil that game, but yeah, a lot of the things that you're describing here are very similar. That game has even less exposition though. It's very much the kind of game where you kind of fill in the blanks yourself, and you don't get a lot of uh, you know, yes or no on whether you're correct or not. Oh, that's a cool mechanic, like beanstalking your way up the level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah, it's
cheating though,
a
isn't it?
it's a necessary part of this game. There are really cool little bits, and as you can see, there's a little bit of jank there. But yeah, your little buddy has a power that he can perform an echo and things happen. So you can have
Oh, is
certain
that what that little
stalks like
perk
this
was?
grow. Yeah. So you can have like a stalk grow. There's another flower that resides on the mountainsides that will pop out little buds that become handholds, and the ones in the sun they wither away in like 5 seconds. But if they're not in the sun, if they're under shadow, then they stay there. Little things like that are really cool. There's these rock carrying bugs that live on the mountain, and you have to literally just wait until they make their way over to you in order to grab onto one of them
That's kind
and
of cute.
follow up. And they get tired of you hanging on them. They get really tired, and they change color, and so you have to wait for another one to come close enough to grab it, and then you can like interchange it. It's really funny, really cute. Um, I love everything about this game so far. It's supposed to be about 5 hours long, and I've got less than an hour left. It's really, really cool. One of the other things I really wanted to speak on it is that the sound design is spectacular. If you're gonna play Jusant, do it with headphones. Absolutely do it with headphones. The ambiance is really cool. It has a lot of moments of silence, but then you have your basic footsteps, your handholds all make that little bit of shuffling noise with the rocks and things like that. But then the ballast makes constant little sounds, adorable sounds. All the little animals in this game make adorable sounds, and it helps you figure out where there might be a potential secret in the game.
Oh, you
Because
shouldn't
as you
stand
can
on
see
that. You're gonna burn
here,
your feet.
yeah, as you can see here, there's a relic that you can activate with the ballast echo, and so that's just like one of the achievements in the game. And I don't know if it affects the an ending or not, but there's not a whole lot to it, but it's just absolutely beautiful the whole way through.
Yeah, this seems great. You recommended this to me before the show, and everything I've read, everything I've seen, everything you're saying, especially with the fact that this is a 4 to 5 hour game, you said, um, I'm totally here for. This
It
seems
just came
like,
out on Tuesday, so
Oh
yeah,
wow.
and it's got good reviews. You know, pretty much across the board. I didn't look that hard, but seems good. Seems good at what it does. This seems like the kind of game that thrives on having good focus. You know, it doesn't seem like it tried to do a million things. It didn't try to be. It didn't try to bite off more than it could chew. Because a game like this, you mentioned, we played a bunch of the music before the show started, but you mentioned that a lot of the game is silent, which makes sense when you're climbing a mountain or when you're just out in a place like this. Even if there are people around, it's usually very, very quiet, and that's kind of the point. So it's nice to hear that they didn't fill the whole game with music, because from an outsider's perspective, that sounds like the best part of climbing a mountain. But you said they've got the narrative drip fed in there. You've got your cute companion, lots of check boxes there. Maybe add the ballast for best petable pets 2023. But
I mean, yeah, when you get to see the hug mechanic of it, yeah, it's super adorable.
hell yeah. So I'm excited. I'll definitely be playing this. I mean, honestly, probably after New Year's. Once I kind of figure out what the heck my gaming diet is going to look like over the next 12 months.
Oh my
Uh,
God, same.
and that's only thinking about what's already out, you know?
Yeah.
So do we know? So you played this on Game Pass. Let me see. Oops, I just covered up our screens. Uh, do you know how much this costs or where it's available otherwise?
Yeah, I was actually gonna see if I can grab that real quick. It's on Xbox and PlayStation and Steam. So
Cool. I see $25 on here. So there you go. Nice 8 GB install size. Gotta love
That's
that.
not bad for an experience of that size. Also,
No.
considering you get to like continue your experience by listening to the soundtrack on Spotify. So
yeah,
Yeah.
I cannot wait to actually do that. It'll be phenomenal listening experience after the game.
Yeah.
I did. I do think it's funny that they have a little FAQ. Do I need to know how to climb to play? Which is technically an honest question because the climbing mechanics are the best I've ever seen, and it feels just right because you are pressing right and left on triggers to
Mhm.
go your different directions and stuff. It feels so good.
And also,
Um,
climbing in video games sometimes can be very hard. Do you
yeah.
remember Game Beasts?
Yeah.
Human fall flat.
They didn't even try. Like, uh,
Dude, think about that human fall flat curve though. When we started, we couldn't climb anything, and by the end,
that's true. We got
that
really good.
yeah, the last
Yeah, I couldn't
session,
hold that over your head for as long as I wanted to. It made me sad.
well, your arms can hold just about anything for a long time, but as soon as you try to hold it over your head and then throw it, yeah, it's very confusing.
See, that was the issue. You had to throw me. Just absolutely had to do
Yeet.
it.
Yeet!
But it does have some accessibility features in it. It's just nothing that I used. And
That's
again,
kind of cool.
the settings, the settings menu is just it seems very bare bones, but I guess they're there. There's a no stamina mode, which is helpful, but stamina in the game is actually very forgiving. But then there's also simplified climbing. So if you only want to use the stick to climb, that's also a thing. You can hold down a button instead of going back and forth on triggers. because I will say that actually that's the other. It's not a knock on the game, but in case you have issues that might prevent it, it actually is the first game in a long time to make my hands sweat and a little and not quite painful, but a little bit sore after
Sure.
because it was a little bit intense at times.
I hear that. I mean,
Because it's constant, like, climbing is constant, and so the game is constant sometimes.
yeah. I mean, it's like those goofy games, Only Up and all those where it's just like, hey, you're climbing, which means the further you climb, if you fall, the fall could be worse. Not that I know if this is a game where you lose a bunch of progress if you fall, but that doesn't stop you from a player from having your gut all twisted up, for the entire experience because you're stressed out about falling.
Yeah, and
Fully
I mean,
clenched.
it's
Fully clenched.
that's the cool thing about it, and not every game can say that anymore because there are so many different ways to play games and stuff like that, but the purpose of this is you are in control, and that I think that sums that up. The gameplay portion, oh my god, if I told Cram that he would be pressing buttons the entire time, he'd just be over the moon.
He
Yeah.
he does like to be 100% engaged at all times. Check out our friends over at Demo Duo, twitch.tv/Demo Duo. We love those guys. And I think they played this at your suggestion, didn't they? Or they
I believe so. Yeah.
did they already play this? Yeah, because they play on
It
Tuesday.
was on the wheel, yeah.
I don't know. I'm all confused. Anyway, they're great. Go follow them. Let's see. I'm gonna jump in next. Last week after the podcast, Sid joined me while I played Scarlet Hollow. So Scarlet Hollow, big fan, everybody. I picked up this game because the developers, who I forgot to look up before I started speaking, the developers are involved with a lot of people from the No Sleep podcast, my very favorite horror fiction. If you're somebody like me, it's spooky season year round. So I don't need an excuse to play these games, but I've had them on my list. This and a game by the same dev called Slay the Princess. So let me figure out who they are. But this game, Scarlet Hollow, is a point-and-click adventure. Point-and-click adventure where you make decisions and all that good stuff. Actually, very similar to a game like Baldur's Gate, in that, I mean, it's a visual narrative game. You meet a lot of characters and you can respond to them in a lot of different ways, and of course there are consequences for your actions. When we started the game, let's see, who's the Black Tabby Games is the developer and publisher, so they're real small time. They're releasing this in episodes, so there are going to be 7 episodes total. I think there are 4 or 5 out right now. We got maybe halfway through the first one. We spent a lot of time just chit-chatting and stuff, enjoying, kind of the scenery. But this is the kind of game where you can tell that everyone that you meet is supposed to have some negative flaw about them. Everyone's supposed to have a secret, or everyone is supposed to be kind of unlikable, including you, if you choose. I mean, even if you don't choose, your character kind of ends up having to say things that maybe make you abrasive, or just kind of not blunt, but like dense. And yeah, we got to discover firsthand. So we make our character. So I got the footage up now. You start the game, Vilos, because I don't think you know anything about this game, right? You start this
Yeah, I didn't
game.
get to watch it.
You start this game, and you get to choose 2 out of 7.
7. Yeah.
Character traits. So you've got strength, and everything has like some modifiers around it. It's like, strength, you're big and buff, you got a mean right hook, and you're strong. Another one is like bookworm, you're well read, you are very perceptive, stuff like that. Another one is, I don't know, another one is empath. So you strive in empathetic situations. But the 2 that we chose, which I think were appropriate, not just for the 2 of us, but for all 3 of us. First, we chose mysticism, so we're definitely a little in touch with
mystical.
the weird side of things, and then hot. We made our character hot.
We are indeed a hot.
That's right. So our character, the game takes place in Scarlet Hollow. You are one of the like outcasts of the Scarlet family. You and your mom left when you were a kid, but the rest of your family stayed behind, and the town is named after you. So it was like, hey, what's your name? I said, my name's Tegan. They said, where are you from? And I was like, well, it said Scarlet Hollow, so I'm supposed to be from the city. We're gonna be from Cerulean City. So that's who we are. So we start the game, and you start on the bus on the way to this to this town. And you're talking to this stranger, this guy you see on screen who's just some weirdo who won't shut up. Like, he's been talking for hours and hours and hours. And so he's talking to us, and it's cracked me up so much. We're sitting there just talking while this game is kind of introducing us to these mechanics. And this stranger, after being really off-putting, just saying some weird stuff where we're like, oh my goodness, man, like you gotta get your stuff together. Like I'm kind of nervous being around you. The last thing he does is he pulls out a bag of dripping peanuts, and we're like, what the hell is that? And Sid's like, well, I've heard that some people like to eat boiled peanuts. And then like 1 second later, the stranger's like, they're boiled peanuts. And so we see this, and I'm like, you know what, this is funny, but as someone who's allergic to peanuts, this would just be the worst thing. Like, it would smell horrible. That looks disgusting. Like, we're in an enclosed space. Like, what are you doing? Stop this. This is horrible. And then it like in the next line, it says, hey, you could choose which statements about yourself are true by choosing them in dialogue. And so in the next screen, it was like, thanks for the peanuts. No thanks for the peanuts. Sorry, I'm allergic to peanuts. And I was like, oh my gosh, a game that actually allows me to be allergic to peanuts. Finally, some representation, everybody. But it really did feel good because that kept coming up. It kept coming up that I had this damn peanut allergy, especially when we met our cousin over here. I already forget her name.
Tabitha.
Tabitha. We met Tabitha. Tabitha doesn't like us, guys. She does not like us at all. We said maybe a couple stupid things, but oh my goodness, she is sick and tired of our bullshit. So we talked to her for a little bit, and we get to the house, and she's like, hey, I got nothing to eat but like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I'm like, I'm allergic to peanuts. Oh, that's bad. So I had to kind of deal with all of that, with being like this person who she did not want to host in her old creaky house that is just falling apart. It's on the edge of a cliff. I don't know how it hasn't gone over the edge.
I'm honestly a little surprised you didn't just use the best line there of the looks like somebody needs a hug.
Man,
really should have.
Maybe we did. I can't remember. What I can tell you is that
I don't think we did.
Everything we said to her was bad. She didn't like any of it. At one point, we got an achievement for making her flash her pearly whites, and she did not do it because she was happy. She did it because she was like grimacing at us because she was basically like, "Oh, you must not know what it's like to work hard," kind of thing. And it was like, oh my god, and it was like the ugliest smile you've ever seen in your life. I'm glad Tabitha's not real. I would never say that about a real person. But but the way that this story is drawn is intended to be like this. It's this specific type of animation that a lot of horror stuff goes for. You can see it in the 2D animations of Darkest Dungeon. You can see it in the Call of Cthulhu, in Lock and Key, which is a comic book that our friend Chris gave me a while back. It's one of the only comic books I've ever read. It was great and horrible and disgusting. And it's this very specific vibe of animation where like every time you look at somebody, like everyone at all times kind of looks bad. Like no one, even at their best, it always looks like maybe they're a little dirty or sweaty or uncomfortable or something. And this game totally nails that. There's no scene where everything ever looks all the way put together, So it's really effective. The composer is from the No Sleep podcast. That's the main reason why I wanted to play this. Brandon Boone. I've been bumping the soundtrack all week since we played. But I'm only listening to the first episode. So we probably got halfway through the first episode, maybe. When you arrive at the town of Scarlet Hollow, you have 1 week until your aunt's funeral. Tabitha's mom, I believe. Yeah, Tabitha's mom. Because I said something to her about both of us being in the Dead Moms Club, and she did not like that.
Yeah, that was one of the more questionable choices that we made.
Yeah, shouldn't have said that. Um, but we have 7 days until the actual funeral, so it seems I've extrapolated that every day will be one episode. At least that's the best I got. So we're gonna make some friends in town. We're gonna explore this house a little bit, even though it sounds like the floorboards could give away at any moment. But yeah, a lot of game ahead of us here. I just really like the way the dialogue choices were put together because it does give you a better idea. It says explore in parentheses next to any dialogue choice where it's not going to advance the plot. So if you specifically want to just keep digging into character development or ask some questions just for your player knowledge, you can see which ones those are without accidentally moving something along. Some explore options are going to make other ones unavailable. So of course, if you say the wrong question and piss somebody off, maybe they're not going to answer any more of your questions. What sound am I hearing? Oh my gosh. Actually, hold on a second. I keep hearing a sound in my room. I apologize. So let's do this in the middle. I have to figure out what the sound is. I'll be right back.
It's actually the ghost of Scarlet Hollow coming to haunt you.
It
Being
sounds
allergic to
like it.
peanuts.
You know
Like,
what?
how dare you be allergic to peanuts and not take the
Yeah.
kind man's boiling peanut bag?
Let me. I gotta stand up. For those listening live, real quick, I'll actually play you my favorite track from the episode 1. But yeah, I have to figure out what this is. So give me just 1 second.
Yeah. It's the damn dialogue choices.
Fun fact, before we started recording this pod, there were some fire trucks going off in the distance. So I'm really hoping that that's not like suddenly, the neighborhood's on fire and like it's a smoke alarm or something like that, So,
Never know anymore.
but I will say that this game was so much fun. I was like so invested in this that I opted to forego my gameplay portion so that we could continue exploring the story and getting to know the characters because I was just like, oh, I'm invested. I can't stop right now.
Like, obviously you like the reality of it, the drama of it, but is it like out of 10, what level of spookiness would you give it?
Well, we didn't really get that far in, so it's hard to say. I mean, you can see right now that the house that we're staying in, it's really decrepit and like dilapidated. Like this bathroom is disgusting. We opened up the lid and there were roaches crawling all around and stuff. And I mean, we still have to use the bathroom because we've been on a bus listening to some weird stranger talk to us like for 6 hours or something.
Yeah, so after all that, we never even saw anything scary. I think the first scary thing was going to happen like right after we ended the stream.
Yeah,
but
there was a creepy doll in the closet, but that was about it.
Yeah, it did give us a tiny little jump scare, kind of. There was weird noises outside, so I at least got that solved. But yeah, so it wasn't even that scary. But the thing I like to say about what I like about a lot of horror so much is that I actually think that most horror is not scary, and that doesn't make it bad horror. A lot of horror is not even trying. There's tons of horror that doesn't jump scare. There's tons of horror that doesn't try to shock you or anything like that. Like a lot of my favorite horror is very slow burn. On the other hand, some of my other favorite horror stuff is just like thriller stuff, that's action packed. I love a story where there's a monster and there's combat and there's a big climactic fight, as opposed to, a story where maybe someone's like stalking the main character, or it turns out the humans were the evil people all the time or something. But tons of different types of horror. With this, I just really liked the vibe of, ooh, this town just feels like it's got this air of, it's old and musty, and everyone here, kind of an old Rust Belt. You're sort of in the Rust Belt, somewhere in like the New England side of it, or you're somewhere in Appalachia. You can see on here that this whole town, everything's like boarded up and stuff. So it's more like a mystery at this point than anything. So we didn't really see anything that's spooky yet, and I don't know what we'll see in the rest of episode 1. So I couldn't tell you if the rest of the game will actually be scary, but I do really like everything we've seen so far. I thought it was written pretty well. It happened over and over and over where somebody would say something, and then Sid and I talking would be like, what? But I can't believe blah, blah, blah. And then the character's first dialogue option that popped up was exactly what we said. It happened a ton of times. So I really appreciated that the writing didn't just assume that our character was an idiot, or that, they understood that what we would think as a player was what we would want the character to say that, and it gave us that
Yeah.
option. So I really like that. I've played a good handful of choose your own adventure type games over the past couple of years, and this just had a lot of stuff in it that I liked. So it's got a really small development team. The seventh episode isn't slated to come out till 2026. It's a long way away. So I think they only have
Wow.
2 of them left. But yeah, that's a long way away. And so it's considered to be in early access until that 7th episode comes out. So if you log on there and wonder why it says early access, that's really the only reason why. It's this episode 1 that we played is fully complete. You know, it's not contrary to how most early accesses are. The game is done. It just comes out in segments. So each segment that comes out is finished. It's just that the whole series is known. So that's Scarlet Hollow. I really liked it. I'm probably going to play this whole entire thing on stream someday, whenever I can pick up my stream schedule some more. But I really like this, y'all. So this game, the first one came out, I don't know, a couple years ago, maybe something like that. I don't know. But the Slay the Princess game, that's also by the same people, that did just come out recently, and that's had pretty good reception. It's very, very similar. Like when I looked at the gameplay and even the animation, very, very similar. But that game comes out, as far as I can tell, in one shot. So the whole thing is out. That game is actually voiced by a bunch of people I know, and I'll be interested to check that out later as well. So Black Tabby Games, they did a good job. Really excited to play that more, and I'll definitely do it live so everybody can enjoy that with me. So
I'll say that, like, if you liked Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, like that specific iteration of Scooby-Doo, then you're really gonna like this game because it starts out very innocuous. You're just like, is this really a spooky town, or is it just like the townsfolk are just kind of kooky and, enjoying the spirit of it all? And then, you know, speaking of Mystery Incorporated, like you get the cheesy monsters like that are people in costume, but then it starts to evolve into the actual supernatural, like overarching storyline that you're just like, dang, I kind of want to know what happens. Like,
mhm.
so I'm really getting that vibe because even though we didn't really see anything spooky in our playtime, I just know that some stuff's about to happen, especially with some of the camera angles that we've seen. Like when we got in that bed, I thought something was going to get us.
Yeah, for sure. Man, even just thinking about that right now, like it's so ominous. Like it gives me such apprehension. Just like, oh, which door are they gonna come out of? The closet or the hallway? Like either way. If I was
One
sleeping
of
in
these
that,
times you're gonna get in that bed and something is going to be like at the end of it. I just know it. I just
dude,
know it.
the
I'm not
fact that
prepared.
no, I'm not prepared either. So I'm excited. I haven't played a real horror game in a while. I mean, the closest I've even gotten is Control. You know, which has like horror elements, but that's not really a scary game. Um, but like I said, most horror I consume isn't actually scary. It's a lot like Control, where it's like, whoa, check out this really interesting, maybe suspenseful mystery that's going on.
I think psychological horror is more effective than just like outright in your face jump scare, spooky, gory horror anyway.
Totally. Yeah, I definitely prefer the stuff that kind of keeps me thinking afterwards. So, yeah, I played some other stuff, but I want to come back for just a minute after we bounce over to you, Sid.
Yeah. So, shifting tones entirely, I played a lot of colorful games over the week. But special shout out to Splatoon 3, which last weekend had their Halloween Splatoween Splatfest. Which last week I did ask, who's going to be the best friend? Was it zombies, skeletons, or ghosts? Of course, chose Team Skeletons because Demi Stick Boins. Sad to report, Skeletons did not win. But
Oh,
Shiver lost. So you know what? We're happy. We're happy. Zombies got a big old goose egg. I'm so excited. Ugh. It was such a relief because we got tired of her winning, y'all. I mean,
But never your team though.
you know what? We won 2 out of the 14 or however many. It would be nice to win 1, but as long as Shiver lost, I was good. I was happy. Well, satisfied. I wouldn't say happy, but I'm satisfied.
Mhm.
But my real focus, my main focus, because I basically no life this for like the whole week it was active, is BattleCrush, which I was actually going to play on last week's gameplay portion, but I was so invested, like I said earlier, in the story of Scarlet Hollow that I was just like, you know what? I want to see where this goes. I want to see how far we can get because I'm interested. Um, but this game, it is a MOBA Royale. So if you remember me talking about Bat or Project Fae, Friends for Everyone, it's that kind of same genre where you drop into a field, you got your skills that are on cooldown or use mana or stamina or what have you, and then there's like a shrinking um, zone of danger because it's a MOBA, so you got all your skills, and then the battle royale zone of danger, etc. What is really intriguing about this one is that it draws from Greco-Roman mythology, and you know what that means. I'm already addicted. Coming from DKO like into a game like this was really I can't think of the word I'm thinking. It's like I don't know. It was comfortable. I guess I could say it was a comfortable
What's the
transition.
Greek word for how I'm feeling?
Well, I'm sure there is one, and it's spelled with very pointy letters.
I'm gonna answer this mystery before the end of the show.
All right, to the internet. But no, what I liked about this game is that as compared to DKO, this uses a lot of like minor deities. So instead of like, Zeus and Hera and like Hephaestus and stuff, you get people like Medusa and Hermes and like these lesser kind of deities. Of course, you do have Ares, who was the god of war, but then you also have like Nyx, the goddess of the night. So it's really interesting how they take these personalities that have really kind of been shaped by so many games. And I'm thinking of games like DKO, I'm thinking of Smite, I'm thinking of Hades as an excellent example of like these different Greco-Roman personalities and deities that we kind of are so familiar with that they feel like we basically grew up with that mythology by now, I
Mhm.
feel. And turned it on its head, right? So, I mean, of course, Medusa, she's going to be like the succubus Gorgon lady, but then Nyx, who is often depicted as like a motherly sort of nurturing type, right? Especially in Hades, she like really takes care of you.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
she's like a badass assassin in this game with like double daggers that like poison you to death, and she can like stealth and cloak and stuff. And I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
like, oh, that's
Lady of
that's
the
not where I
Night.
saw that coming. Lady of the Night,
Yeah,
she a ninja. So she's really cool. We have Poseidon, who in this game is female, which I thought was an interesting twist.
nice.
And just like in DKO, for some reason they've mixed Greco-Roman mythology with Arthurian lore. So we have King Arthur and Lancelot in this game as well. And I don't know why this is so common.
No,
I just
they were always there.
well, like I just whenever I think of mythological figures, I mean, King Arthur is usually the last one I think of, right? Like I think of like Chinese, Japanese, Egyptian, lore. I think of course, the Greco-Roman
I hear what
mythology.
you're saying, but Merlin, right, is a dang wizard. He's a heckin' sorcerer, and I think that
Well, I
kind of
guess
puts
that's
him in
fair.
the cast. And if he's working alongside King Arthur's just the fighter class versus the wizard class. Robin Hood's over there. Maybe he's the archer class. I don't know. I'm
Well,
really
yeah, is
getting
Robin Hood
desperate
part of
here.
the Arthurian lore? I actually don't know that. Like, are they
No.
related? No, okay.
Uh,
Because
I just think of them as old school, like Albion
yeah,
era.
exactly.
You
Like
know,
yeah, they're definitely like folk tales, fairy tales, things like that. But I would never put them in the same category as like Zeus or Anubis. You know what I mean?
no,
So
no, same level of
Who's
strength. What's the problem?
who's the Huckleberry Finn looking dude that was just on?
Oh, that's
oh,
Cassidy
so
from Overwatch.
that's actually Hermes dressed up in like a he's like in a summer getup, so he's got like a
Oh,
straw
okay,
hat with like sunglasses and stuff
gotcha.
on.
Okay,
In the
because I
current
was like,
clip,
where do you fit in here?
no, that's Hermes. That's why he's zipping all back and forth and stuff. And actually, you see another Hermes on screen right now with a cape and everything.
Oh, nice.
Um, but what's really neat about this that separates it from like BAP and Project Fae is that everything instead of being controlled by cooldowns, it's controlled by stamina, and that includes your dashes, your basic attacks, your heavy attacks. I think even your ultimates consume stamina. Well, maybe not, but you have to the mechanic about this game is you have to manage your stamina because nobody's like a mana character. It's all stamina.
No one's a
Um,
mana character, you said?
right. So nobody like uses mana. We all use stamina, and it all depending on the character you are, it recharges at a different rate. Of course, even swimming uses stamina, and when you hop out of the water, you use stamina. So one of the biggest draws for me to this is how strategic you have to be in your approaches, your retreats, and even in your combat itself. Because you really have to keep an eye on not only your own stamina, but your teammates and your enemies to ensure that you have like the best advantage you possibly can. So I think that's really cool. And in true battle royale fashion, you can augment your stats like your attack, your defense, your stamina regeneration by finding equipment of increasingly important value and strength. So it's like regular, epic, unique, legendary, mythic, things like that. And of course, there are specialty artifacts that have like really cool passives, like the Creator's Blessing, which is basically the revival curious from League of Legends. After you perish, you are revived with like half of your health or whatever in 5 seconds. So things like that. And yeah, it's just really cool. I've been thoroughly enjoying this game a lot. Of course, alongside the equipment, you have your inventory of like potions and stuff that you can manage. So your strategy is always, always, always evolving. And the stage is always shrinking and not with like a mysterious gas that just happens to hurt you if you touch it or something. No, the actual stage is shrinking, the land is falling away. And if you're caught in the air outside of it without any stamina, you will die. It is harrowing, to say the least.
Nice. Yeah, lots of pretty colors and stuff. Okay. I know that when you play games like this, you tend to love them and play the crap out of them, right?
Yes.
Do you think you'll play this for 1 month more? 3 months? 6 months?
Well, this was
until the
only
next big banger comes out?
this was only like a week-long beta, from Monday to Monday, and I basically no-lifed it until like I missed 2 days of it, but I peaked at the top 7th in the country, the whole
Nice.
country, and I finished off at number 10, so top 10 in the country.
I think
So
because I saw you
Hell
playing
yeah.
it so much, I forgot it was in beta. I just was like, this is a game that's out. Everyone's playing it.
It's out now.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I could see it playing it for as long as I play DKO, and as long as they're continuing to support the game, I will continue to play it. This game is actually developed by NC Soft, who is responsible for such titles as Guild Wars 2 and Lineage and Blade and Soul, I believe is the name of the MMO, Blade and Soul. So those are their major titles that they worked on. And apparently, so earlier in my video, I mean, right now even you see like a dinosaur mascot. There was a blue dinosaur mascot earlier. Like, how does that fit into Greco-Roman mythology? Answer: it doesn't. NCSoft owns a baseball team in South Korea, and their mascots are in this game.
Lol. That's funny.
Yeah. So
Power play.
that's so you got Greco-Roman mythology, you got King Arthur apparently, and then
The heroes of South Korea.
the dinosaur.
The dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's really going back to the old mythology,
Mm-hmm. It really, really is.
That's good.
What's your favorite dinosaur, y'all? Is it the same as when we first started 3 years ago? Almost to the day now, actually.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of dinosaurs in our games since then,
I think my new favorite dinosaur is that mascot, because I mean, you see how he built. I'm just saying.
Wow.
Thousand move over.
So Sid, when are you gonna play Baldur's Gate? I'm just gonna keep bringing this up because that game's really spicy, and I consume so much spicy content related to that game because everybody. The base game is great, but people also mod it as if every character in the whole world isn't already like really hot. They're like, let's mod it even further.
I feel like they do that with like Final Fantasy 14 too, like because everybody in that game is so pretty, and then they just make them just freaking pretty. So the answer to that question is I don't know, because I would love to play that game. I would also like to have the budget and time to play that game. There's so many things coming out and so many things that I want. Like I still have to get Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I still have to get Sonic Superstar. So, like there's so many things, and that's just on my list for this year. And then of course BattleCrush is going to come out.
60 hours to get through the first third of that for us, so
I can't even imagine how long it's going to take me, because I want to talk to everybody and I want to romance everybody and I just want to do everything with like all the time. Child.
Oh, you'll be able to. Just you'll be playing it for the next 10 years, and that's all right.
Yeah. So this game, BattleCrush, was available on Steam and mobile to play during this beta. It was actually slated to be on the Switch during the beta as well, because that's actually how I found out about it during the Nintendo Direct, if you recall. But the validation process for Nintendo is so convoluted and so slow, as it always is for anything that's multi-platform, that it wasn't done in time for the beta, so they had to go without it this time. Right. So between now and the projected launch of spring 2024, I'll expect another beta, which will introduce the Switch and also maybe some other. They said in the Discord as well that they are working on a new Calyxer, is what the champions are called. So I'm looking forward to see who comes out next and how hot they'll be and what kind of outfits they'll get, because the characters in this game are ridiculous and their designs are amazing. So I'm excited.
Nice. Well, then I'll bounce back over just for a real quick one. I'll have more to talk about this in the next few now playings, so I won't go crazy. But y'all, I re-downloaded Apex Legends because cross progression is in the middle of being implemented. I thought that you needed to just like press a button in the game, but actually it's rolling
Gotcha.
out sometime over the next few weeks to everybody, but it's it's going out to different people at different times. So unfortunately, even though that process in quotes here already started, no one has any idea when that's going to be a reality. But I picked up the game. Boy, everybody, I haven't played Apex in years, and that game sure is pretty cool. I used to have a podcast where I talked for 1,000 hours about how I like that game, and I'm back, baby. So
It's full circle.
it's
No, I thought I escaped.
So game is cool. It just got, there are tons of champions or whatever they're called in this game that I don't know. Like there are at least 6 characters I've never seen before. There are specific character classes now. So there are 5 different classes. There's like support, recon, and 3 others. I don't remember what they are. But they each have they come with some special ability that the other classes don't have access to. But Apex is free. I downloaded it on Steam. I used to play it a whole lot on PlayStation, which is why I am looking forward to having all the stuff I had on PlayStation come through. Because sure, I had a couple skins that were cool, but most importantly, I had a lot more characters unlocked. Right now, I can only play like 5 characters, but I'm equally bad at all of them, so it's not really that bad that I don't have access to very many, right? So I played with our friend Mr. Jerp. He's really good at that game. He was doing some crazy slow-mo trick shots in midair that I was just like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I'm glad you're on my side. But it was super cool. They just came out with a whole huge list of big changes to the game. I won't get into the whole thing, but examples are now when you respawn, because Apex Legends Battle Royale, if you respawn, so if you die, your team has to come over and collect your tag, and then you take your tag to a respawn beacon and you respawn. In the past, if you didn't get someone's tag in time, they were out for the rest of the game no matter what. There's nothing you can do about it. When you respawned them in, they came in with either nothing, or after a while the game was updated where they came in with like a basic pistol. Now you drop with all of the stuff that you died with, or with the weapon and armor that you died with, which is awesome, because the second you drop out of that plane, you're immediately back in the fight again. It feels great. And then they if you don't get someone's banner, it's called, in time, the support class, which has characters like Gibraltar, who I like a lot, you can craft a banner. So even if you ran away, left your friend behind, they died, gotta go, you can craft their banner and then respawn them in somewhere else in the map. So there are more opportunities than ever to come back from losing a fight. So just because you have gotten killed, as long as one person in your squad is alive, there's still a chance. It's exciting. I'm really bad at aiming on PC, and when I first tried to play, I'm jumping around using my hip fire like I do in most games. I'm doing okay, and then I aim down the sights, and my sensitivity was so high that when I tried to move to shoot at someone, my character turned all the way to the side, and I didn't know where I was. And I had the aim button toggled, so instead of holding my right mouse button to aim down the sights, and then when I let go of the button, it stops aiming, I had it toggled. So I'm sitting there aiming down my gun. I'm just like, where are they? Where are they? I can't move.
Oh, Tegan.
It took me a couple of games to figure out how to fix it. But oh my gosh, I really was that like noob player that's like running around staring at their feet, basically just pinging stuff for my friends to pick up because maybe they'll actually get some use out of it. But anyway, I'll talk more about the game on another session. But Apex Legends, a lot of fun. The big changes that just came through, plus the crossplay, was enough to get me back. So it's a 3-player game. If you're interested in playing, join our Discord to squad up. Odysseus also downloaded the game, so we've at least got the squad of 3 going. So probably a lot of Apex in my future. Probably not as much Overwatch as in the past, because I can't play them both. I mean, I can, but only so many hours in the day. So Apex will probably take up the majority of my competitive time. I even joked I had so much fun spectating people after I died last night that I was joking that I might just have Apex on one screen, and then after I inevitably get killed, I'll just spectate for the rest of the map or rest of the game, and then just play something else on my other monitor.
Oh my
Just like
gosh.
load up Mini Motorways or some other like really low impact game. You know, because I am physically incapable of only focusing on one task at a time. You know. Cool. So that's our now playing, huh? That's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. I think that crafting the cards, like the respawn cards, are like a really cool feature. One of the most annoying things about playing BattleCrush was that when you do perish, um, you drop something like that. It's called a soul stone. It's like a little crystal that glows next to your gravestone,
Mhm.
which you can loot, by the way. You can loot other people's gravestone and steal their equipment, which is a really good strategy if you're like alone. Uh, but the thing about it is that soul stones are susceptible to falling along with the terrain. So if your teammate, your third teammate spawns, because I was playing with a duo for most of the time,
Mhm.
um, if your third teammate spawns way across the map and then instantly dies because they spawned way across the map from you, then you have to go all the way across the map to retrieve the soul stone. Well, by the time you get there, the terrain may have already fallen away, and you can't retrieve
It's
it, and they're just out for the rest of the
just
game.
gone.
So, yeah,
Rip.
I will say that that's one of the more annoying things about it is that instead of dropping in, from like a plane or a bus or what have you,
Mhm.
you just pick your spot on the map and then you spawn there. And you do have a chance to change your spawn once you pick one. It counts down from like 15, and then after that initial countdown, you have like 10 more seconds to like kind of move your pawn around the map to like get away from a team that may have already been spawning there or something like that.
Mhm.
So I thought that was neat. But just the fact that your teammate could just spawn wherever they want and put themselves in peril like that, and then have the gall to like leave the game after they die immediately is just
It just ain't
kind of
right.
one of the sour notes. Yeah. So
Yep.
I appreciate that craftable respawn token.
Me too. Well, so part of the reason I downloaded, I was playing Played Up with Odysseus last night. That game is also popping. It's as good as it's ever been. It's great. After we finished that, I had been watching Jerp play while we played, play Apex. I mean, and I downloaded the game, and so I hopped in. But we were discussing a lot of those changes, and he mentioned crafting those banners. And if you have a support character on your team, I believe anyone on your team, even the other non-support players, can still craft that banner. And that's great if you're playing with a squad who doesn't quit, but he kept playing with people who just left. Or, you start a 3-player game and immediately one person leaves. So now you're just a team of 2 for the whole game. So it's like, man, it seems like they have a lot of changes to make survivability and not giving up, more rewarding. But if people fucking quit, then it doesn't mean anything, So it's just like, I mean, it's just another testament. If you want to play a lot of games like this, find good people. We
Yeah.
can be those good people, everybody. So if you want people to play with, we promise we don't like to keep jerks around for very long, but it very is much the struggle, the persistent struggle, especially as we get older and our time is more and more valuable, where it's like, bro, am I about to play solo queue with these chuckleheads who are just going to leave the second things aren't going their way? Like, don't play a competitive game if you can't handle the heat,
Right.
I only have
Right.
65 minutes of time to competitive games available to me. Just if any of those suck, nah.
That's it. 10 seconds into your first Apex game and you're like, okay, well, that was enough. That's, all right.
Next month. All right.
There's my mental. There it goes. All right, cool.
Right.
This did exactly what I needed.
Oh, man. So
I
great.
was really
So,
pretty good today. I think I'll just play some video games and fix that.
oh my gosh, it's a struggle, man. I mean, you really take such a huge risk playing competitive games because they can go great or they can just totally not. So, uh, well, that's our now playing. So we played Jusant, Scarlet Hollow, BattleCrush, and Apex Legends. Some honorable mentions, of course. Baldur's Gate, played some Played Up. I know, yeah, I know. We're playing a whole bunch of other things in our community and stuff. There are always survival games and co-op games on the horizon, but maybe I'll sneak in another single-player game besides Scarlet Hollow here soon. But if you'd like to tell us what you've been playing, join our Discord at discord.gg/partyinvite-show. You can also visit our website, which is partyinvite.games. That has links to everything that you need to find on the internet. And Vilos, do you want to tell anybody what we're doing this weekend?
Yes, we have our 4th annual Extra Life Day and weekend
Pew, pew,
coming
pew, pew,
up.
pew.
And 2 weekends. It just keeps
Yes,
growing.
and 2 weekends. So yeah, this weekend is the start. Starting at noon on Saturday, we are gonna be. I'm gonna be streaming for at least 6 hours. Just anything, everything, not literally, but very close.
Unless.
I've got to work around some stuff on my hard drive real quick, but we're really gonna push some competitive games actually this weekend,
Yeah.
and and so
I want to thwart
some
people.
Exoprimal for sure, some Rogue Company,
Oh, did you say
some
exoprimal?
Party Animals, I guess,
Heck yeah.
and maybe some Resident Evil 5 with me and Sid. I don't know. Something like that may come. Maybe. Yeah.
We'll see. As long as there are no buses involved.
There might be. There might
There
be.
very well could be. But yeah, we are going to be there we go. We're going to be raising funds as per usual for Extra Life, the foundation that helps change kids' futures. So it's really a big deal for us, and you know, every little bit helps. Every little bit of attention. If you just want to spend some time on a stream, drop right in. We're going to be here for a good chunk of this weekend,
It's gonna be
both Saturday
great.
and Sunday, and again starting at noon Central Time. And if you want to play a little bit, we might have some spots open in our Discord. Never know. Just
Yeah.
get in here and see what's up. I'll have some incentives for donating to make things a little bit more interesting as well. So
Let's make it hard for him,
lots of
everybody.
stuff.
Let's make him feel like he's playing a competitive game. Let's donate a bunch of money to just completely sabotage what he's doing.
More like sabotage my teammates. So I
Well,
mean,
you're like,
although
oh,
one
oh
of
no.
yeah, one of my incentives will be to stop playing whatever the normal game type for Exoprimal and do Savage Gauntlet. So that's probably the most painful to me. But we'll see. I don't know what this week's Savage Gauntlet is, so we'll see.
It's gonna be
I
great.
believe in you.
You're gonna
Definitely not a
be
skill issue.
you're gonna be
Yeah,
captain of the ship. You'll find me in chat all weekend and in Discord most likely. And then the following weekend I'll be taking the helm, but this weekend is all about Vilos. Vilos, are you gonna wear that Arcanine hoodie the whole time?
probably it's probably gonna be pretty chill around here. So
Yeah. You got to wear the hat too. You got to have that Arcanine Tails combo.
yeah,
Yeah,
Firemons completely
that's right.
for sure.
All right. Well, we're going to move over and play this game that I had never heard of that hit Game Pass this week, called Headbangers Rhythm Royale. So
Oh,
everybody
Lord.
can stick around for that, because I don't know what's in store for this game. I mean, I've seen what the gameplay looks like and the pictures and stuff, but I'm not sure. It's gonna be a surprise for everybody. We're gonna be
We might not have the patience for it completely. I will say that. That could be the case.
well, we're
We'll
gonna
see.
find out. I'm gonna be
All I know is
playing,
I'm going to win.
no doubt about it. Yeah, that's exciting. I think Vilos might be playing. Are you gonna play on mobile?
Is there crossplay that way?
I still haven't figured out how that worked. I actually
It
haven't
wants you
figured
to
that yet.
plug in a controller, and that's when I was like, nah.
Oh, it's a mobile?
Yeah.
Well, Vilas, you have that Razer thing, doohickey.
Thing.
I do the Kishi, yeah.
Yeah, that. Official name.
Yeah. So we'll bounce over to that and see what it's like. And yeah, I mean, we played Party Animals, and I feel like this is the same vibe of just like completely unhinged, but it's a rhythm game. Who knows?
Yeah.
It could really go any direction. But for y'all
I
here,
think Vilas is going to do really well considering how well he did at that rock and roll fighting game. That was a real good time.
That was horrid though, and I hate to say it since they gave us the code for it, but like that's on the developers.
I think it was a fun game. I just don't think the two concepts married very well.
indeed.
That's true.
All
So
right.
yeah, it would be ultimate for me to do that, by the way, on
Oh,
mobile.
I see. All right. Well, someday maybe I'll try that out. I mean, shoot, maybe I'll play that this weekend. Maybe I'll rope people in chat. I'll be like, bro, we're gonna watch Vilos stream for Extra Life, but we all have to play this game on our phones. I don't know. We'll see. Okay.
What's wrong? You don't have phones?
Yeah, what? Doesn't everybody have phones? Well, we'll be back next Thursday for your regular show. But yeah, check us out on twitch.tv/partyinviteshow to watch Vilos this weekend and then watch me next weekend. All right, everybody. Talk to you again soon.
Bye.
See ya.